Howdy, howdy, howdy. Nearly Senior Citizen here. Greetings, boys and girls, and welcome to this, another brand new day. Yes, indeed. For most of the world, well, much of the world, it's already Christmas Day. You'll never get away with this, snarled Kris Kringle, face throbbing. They'd beaten him badly and roughly chained his wrist to the stone walls with iron cuffs. My elves will be here at any time, and they'll kick your asses. Your elves, said Frosty, holding the bullwhip in one hand and a haunch of bloody, raw meat in another. Your elves have already come, old man, and trust me, they were delicious. The snowman's sharp flint teeth bit into the dripping flesh, tearing loose a rough gobbet. Kringle shut his unswollen eye and felt nothing but despair and pain. Because on the west coast of the United States, that's like only 4 or 5 hours away from the end time zone. Much of the world has already gone through the night and the day, but for those places that haven't, like the United States and much of like Western Europe, hello to Christmas Eve Day. I know the bulk of my viewers are in the United States, but for everybody that's not, thank you so much for watching. It is appreciated. It is very awesome. Very, very cool. I wish I could travel. I wish I could travel the world. I was able to travel in the Air Force when I was younger, and it was awesome, and I'd love to do it again, but I'm trying not to live on the sidewalk and die because of that. So what are the odds of my being able to travel? Pretty low. I'm disabled. I'm on a limited income, and they keep cutting various benefits, so I have to spend more money that I don't have just to survive. So, thumbs up, yay. I mean, life is life, isn't it? Anyway, though, good morning. I'm rambling, and that's okay. I got some sleep last night. In fact, I did very well. It was late before I got to bed. It was after 11, but it was like 5:30 when I woke up. Well, woke up enough that I got out of bed. And so, for me, that's a lot of sleep. And once again, it's before I go to bed, I hammer down caffeine, and that helps me sleep. So, yay. It's a good thing, sort of. I went walkies last night, and that was good. Once again, it just shows me how I like heat. I don't like being cold. I dislike being cold intensely. A lot. And so being cold is unpleasant, but my body and my brain work best when colder. In the range of 65 to 60, I'm really good. I can be chill without wearing a coat and be uncomfortable, but my body and my brain are working well. When I'm out walkies and I'm just wearing my plaid shirt and then a summer jacket, I have it open. I usually have my sleeves rolled up when I'm walking 40-degree weather, and that's sometimes too warm. So, yeah. The human body, you gotta love it. So, things have been going, and that's good. I did want to talk about one thing where I wanted to talk about a timeline of various things. I got out of the Air Force in 1986, and I was 23 years old, so it's been a time. And then from 1986 to 1989, I just bummed around, lived with my parents, took odd jobs, just was out looking. I went to community college and was advancing my mind with classes, so it's not like I was just being a bum and mooching. I was doing stuff. I was, like I say, periodically working here and there with odd jobs, taking classes. My parents didn't mind, so that was good. 1989, excuse me, I went out and started renting houses and apartments on my own with housemates and otherwise, and from then on, 1990 onward, I lived in one house for the next 10 years. Also, in 1989, I got my first job as a nurse's aide, and that's when I discovered that doing healthcare, caring for people, helping was what I wanted to do. And so for the next 16 years, I worked in healthcare as a nurse's aide from 1989 to 2005. And I wish I could still do it. I'm a caregiver at heart, I have discovered. And it bugs me, it hurts that I can't. When I broke and I could no longer work, and then I took care of my wife, I was able, excuse me, I was able to fulfill that caregiving role, but I'm getting ahead of myself. So I got that job as a nurse's aide, and then for the next 10 years, I worked at this one nursing home. I lived in this one house, and I was falling apart because my alcoholism was increasing at a frightening rate. I had already been drinking before I'd been 10 years old because of the sexual and physical abuse. So by the time I was in high school and started really getting access to alcohol, I had already been a functioning alcoholic. And now I became a physical alcoholic. And then, while I was in the Air Force, of course, I drank hard because you pick up three main habits, or at least you did. There was smoking, swearing, and drinking. Well, I was already swearing. I never picked up smoking tobacco. And drinking, that just intensified. So from 1990 to 2000, my alcoholism was going into an intense death spiral, even as I was working and trying to hold things together. And then in the year 2000, I talked to my parents and asked them to take me to rehab. And then I went into rehab, and I really should have been dead because it's, once again, I've said it before, I'll say it again. When I went into rehab and, detox, I gotta say that first because that's where it was. I blew a .544 on the breathalyzer, and at .2, 0.2 you're drunk, 0.3 you're usually unconscious, 0.4 you're usually dead, 0.5 they usually don't even, you're dead. And I was .544. And I remember that night. My body was in bad shape. I had so much ammonia in my blood. They had never seen a body with that much ammonia in its bloodstream and be alive. Gosh darn it. Normally, they only found ammonia counts that high in autopsy, so thumbs up. But I went through detox a couple times, and it took 3 rehabs, but my last one did it, and I came out sober. And there's times I wish I hadn't been an alcoholic, but then I never would have gone through the things I did. I never would have lost my job at the one place I worked for 10 years. I never would have been fired by a person who hated me. So I went on to work at this other nursing home. And it was there in 2001, while working there, that I met the woman that was going to become my wife. Because she worked as a licensed practical nurse and I was a nurse's aide. She was on one wing of the building and I was on the other, because there were 2 major wings. There was the geriatric wing and then there was the Medicare wing. And I worked on the geriatric care, she worked on the Medicare side. But for whatever reason, we intersected, and then from then, it became an intertwining. And then in 2002, after dating for a very short period of time, we became engaged to be married. It didn't come out of the blue. It's after she told me that she was pregnant that we decided to put a date to it. So, thumbs up for that. Oh, I am so sorry. I've been talking for like 15 minutes trying to make sure that this would not happen. It's been no issues while I've been talking to myself to try and do this. But the minute I turn on my webcam is when my body decides, hey, let's ramp up mucus production. So my sincere apologies. But we started dating, and then in 2002 we got married, and then a little bit after that there was the birth of our first child. She'd already had a child. We ended up with 3, her first child, and then our second, the daughter, and then later on our third, the one that almost killed her. And, well, it set things in motion, and I'll explain that as well. So we had this child, and things were going on, and I knew that there were going to be issues. She explained she'd had Hodgkin's lymphoma as a teenager, which is a very virulent form of cancer. And nobody would listen to her or her mother because, of course, you know, back then, well, even now, it's like opinions of women and stuff are just discounted in all the wrong places. Finally, they got hold of a doctor who said, yeah, those grapefruit-sized tumors that are all over, yeah, that's cancer. And so they finally were able to operate, get them out of her. They did exploratory surgery, so she already had a scar from her solar plexus just below your rib cage down to her pubic bone, where they'd had to open her up and take out various bits and parts. She didn't have a spleen by the time that we were married. Along with, you know, she'd just been cut open, so she had that big old scar. It was with the pregnancy of our second child that things started to go downhill. Well, let's go back to that first, because he had to have, well, she didn't have to, but the treatment for Hodgkin's lymphoma back then, she was the tail end of the treatment, was massive radiation, massive chemo. They stopped doing that not long after her treatment because they found out that it saved your life right then, but then 10, 15 years later, you died because of the treatment. And her heart was a massive scar tissue and much smaller than it should have been. And her lungs, after things started to go downhill, were at 33% of the capacity they should have been for a woman her age. And she was only like 33 when this started happening. She died when she was 41. But things started to go downhill while she was pregnant with our second child. And she ended up with early labor and was in the hospital for months. But then the cord got wrapped around the baby. They had to go in and do an emergency birth. It's not a C-section. You section oranges and grapefruit, not people. It was a cesarean birth. Her third, and I made it there in time for the birth of our second child. But from then on, that's when things really went downhill. Her heart started failing massively. Her lungs started failing massively. Everything started breaking inside of her. She had to have a near total hysterectomy because one of her ovaries exploded and was filling up her abdomen with blood. She had a hemorrhage at one point where the left side of her head filled up with blood. It was bad. She did not live a good life. I had to push her around in her wheelchair after her heart surgery. 2 years into our marriage, and she started to die fast. I found out at like year 9 that the doctors had told her that they didn't expect her to live 5 years. Well, she lived 10, and that was good. But we bought a house together here in Shelton after moving into an apartment in Olympia. And so we were living across from our brother and sister-in-law who'd already had guardianship of our children, because in 2003, I broke. That's why I am disabled. I broke my back, basically. I mean, I didn't literally break my back, but I broke while I was doing my work. And my back is in such a mess that I can't stand in place for more than 20 minutes at a time, and then I'm done for 8 hours. I can't anymore. I can go walking for 3 hours, but that 3 hours, I'm done for the next 10. I can sit for 6-8 hours, but oh my God, it hurts so much, and I've got to get up, but getting up hurts. It's not good. I broke very, very badly. And so I was on disability, and then she had to go on disability, and then she died, and then I lost my house, and now I'm here, and I'm desperately trying not to go homeless each month. So I just wanted to give kind of an overview timeline of what's happened with that portion of my life, with the tail end of my alcoholism, because I've been sober. I have fallen a few times since I've gotten sober, but the shame is not in falling down. The shame is in not getting back up. And I have always gotten back up. I've never fallen for long, thank God, And it's like maybe 3 times I have fallen in the past 19 years. So that's not bad, but I've been sober since then, and it's been good. Merry Christmas. Definitely a thumbs up. Yeah, Christmas Eve. I have nobody and no place, so today is just going to be another day like any other day. I'm hoping to take my camera downtown so I can record the Christmas lights of Shelton and such like that so you can see. But past that, that's the only real Christmas thing I'm going to do. I don't have anybody. My in-laws have moved out of town, and half of my kids are, well, 2/3 of my kids aren't even in the state anymore, so yay, Merry Christmas. And I've opened up 24 hours worth of comments, my community tab, and I'm going to go through and thank 20 to 25 people for having left me a comment. I'm not reading the comments right now, except accidentally. I have very good peripheral vision. So I'm just thanking you for having left a comment, good, bad, or indifferent. Thank you very, very much. If I mispronounce the username, no disrespect is intended, and I get lost. It's going to be a range, because even though I count in American Sign Language, because of my depression, fibro, and more, I am just, well, you've seen me, maybe. I get lost real easy. Calling up my Chrome, we have Jack Needler. Thank you very much. Ice Damon, greatly appreciated. Alex MJ Broken 64. Well, when you do get a working PC, that would be cool. Renee R, greatly appreciated. Unknown. My story ideas are very odd. And we have Saras X Harkonnen. Thumbs up and thank you. Dark's Bunny, greatly appreciated. Cheese Stuff, thank you very, very much. Mayuna A, greatly appreciated. Kathy Kitscat, thank you very, very much. Sebastian Ferris, greatly appreciated. Kyle Finley, thumbs up and thank you. Russian Timing, I was going to call you Russian Ferris, sorry about that. Russian Timing, thumbs up and thank you very much. Then we have Jackie Barker, greatly appreciated. X Almighty 4, thumbs up and thank you. Elric Meme, thumbs up and thank you, and I will check that out. Jackie Barker, thumbs up and thank you very much. Jill Red Salvadori, thank you very much. A lot of R's. 1231. Then we have Lazy Mode, greatly appreciated. Conspo Lopez, thumbs up. I probably have gotten like 2 19s. Bailey Snyder, greatly appreciated. Heroic Lunacy, I like the name. Thank you very much. Colin Reisenauer, greatly appreciated. Your mom, lol, 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 greatly appreciated. Last but not least, we have Mac Cheese. Thumbs up and thank you. Each and every one of you get me out of my head, into the world, dealing with real people, and that is a very good thing. Greatly appreciated. If you could check out my various things down below, I have Twitter, Facebook, GoFundMe, Patreon.com. If you could donate to my GoFundMe campaign, I did get, well, I'm jumping ahead of the links. If you could donate to the GoFundMe campaign or become a Patreon.com patron like one of these beautiful and awesome people, that would be beautiful and awesome. Now, if you would like to help me out but don't want to contribute that way, I have a PayPal link down below. I did receive a donation. Thank you very, very much. I believe it was Potatotron. I'm very tired this morning, so details are lost, but I hope, and if not, then I'm very sorry about the name mix-up, but thank you very much. If you'd like to support me in some way without sending me money, I have an Amazon wish list down below. You can check that out. I got things like cat food, hamster toys, silly things, not silly things. So if you could check that out, it'd be awesome. Do not feel obligated. I don't feel entitled. And if you cannot donate, or you simply do not donate, I take all good wishes and I deposit them in the bank of my heart where I draw interest. So thank you very much. If you could toss me a like, I do appreciate all the positive validation I get from my existence. Definitely a thumbs up. And of course, if you could subscribe to the channel and hit that bell, that would be very cool. Greatly appreciated. I would understand if you did not wish to, but if you are down with it, I will do my very best to keep you entertained from now to the literal end of time. Very frightening concept. Definitely a thumbs up. Well, shuckle my duckle. I think this one's going to be a little short because it's 18 minutes after. Do I have an intro right now? I don't know. You know more than I do. Definitely a thumbs up. So, Merry Christmas Eve. Merry Christmas Day for whoever happens to be that far behind, ahead. Whatever the word is, if you're ahead and it's Christmas Day, you know, thumbs up for that. If it's not, then thumbs up and thumbs up. I don't know, I'm losing my mind. So you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, my friend, and that is a very good thing. Again, Merry Christmas, Happy upcoming New Year, and yeah,